Hello everyone, it is another week, and this week I decided to make little things for Earth Day. So it's a little hard to see with the light shining right on it because it's pretty pastel, but I made these two little illustrations for Earth Day because Earth Day is April 22nd, I want to say, I believe. So I made these two little guys. It's like one side like of the earth and then the other side of the earth. I know Earth doesn't really have sides because it's a sphere, but sides for what continents are where, you know? So I have these two little guys, and since I have these, I now am tempted to make an Earth Day sticker sheet. I think that would be cute. So I'm gonna try my hand at that. I also wanted to, because I have this paper, let me pull it out. This sticker paper from Online Labels. It's not waterproof or anything like that, so it would just be for like regular stickers that you would put in like your planner, or I don't know, whatever you put stickers on that's not gonna get wet. So not water bottles, but it's a 100% recycled white paper. It says on Online Labels, it says 100% post-consumer waste. So it's nice that it's 100% recycled. So I'm thinking of making like a sticker sheet with that. I'm also thinking of making the die cuts of these, so like just the flower outline and everything. But because of die cuts, I would feel better about making them on a waterproof sticker paper like I normally do from like my tea owls and stuff. Sorry, I'm like trying to close this box. So that sadly wouldn't be recyclable or recycled paper, because for vinyl stickers you want to make sure that they're waterproof, so they have to be plastic, and I haven't found any that are recycled plastic that are still waterproof and everything, but I do want to offer little stickers of these guys. So I'm thinking of doing die cuts of these, just obviously in a smaller size, and then prints and a sticker sheet. So I think I'm gonna get started on the sticker sheet now. So let's go do that. So for my sticker sheets, I decided to take you guys along and show you guys how I set these up. So for each of the stickers, I just make an illustration for each on a separate canvas. This is, I think, a 10.5 by 14.5 canvas at 300 dpi. The 300 dpi is what matters the most, and it has to be bigger than what you want your sticker to be, just so you can get like all your details in there and everything. So I have this little bluish purplish bee here, and I have made sure that the background is off, and now we can just save it as a PNG, right? And then just save it wherever you want. So save, and we're good. So always make sure that it's a PNG because you want to keep the transparency. And then let's move on to the next step. So here I'm going to show you how to resize the sticker. I don't like resizing in Procreate. No matter what I do in Procreate, if it's what is it called, bilinear or nearest neighbor or bicubic, whatever the resizing, like uniform resizing tool that I choose, it always comes out a little pixelated, a little bit more blurry, and loses details. So I personally like to resize my images on my MacBook. So here is the little sticker, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do that. So I have the little sticker, and what I need to do now is crop it because the canvas size that it's saved at is bigger than what the little sticker is. So to be able to get it resized correctly, I have to go around it as well as possible, you know, as close to the edge lines as possible. Boop. That looks good. And then it's just Command K, and he is cropped. So now we just go up to Tools and adjust size. So right now he's this size. Keep these two checked so that it stays at the correct resolution and everything. Make sure that's locked, and I want him to be an inch tall. He's going to be the smallest little sticker on this sheet, but I want him to be an inch tall. And then you just press OK. Command S to save him, and he has been resized. And typically on my Mac, it doesn't really lose much detail. Obviously, when you start blowing him up really big, then you start seeing some pixelation, but at the 1 inch size, he's going to be perfect. And he's going to look a lot better than if we resized him in Procreate. So yeah. Now let's move into Procreate and set up that sticker sheet. So this is the final outcome. I'm going to show you guys how to get to this. Because I am using the full sheet print and cut Cricut hack where it doesn't need to read registration marks, I'm going to need to make these little corners, and it's pretty much just following along the same steps as I outlined in a previous video. I'm going to be going over essentially all the steps again, so if you don't know that hack already, it'll be included in this. So we are going to make a new canvas, whatever your typical letter size is. So in the US, at least, I know that it's 8.5 by 11. That's the size of my sticker sheets, and 300 DPI. So that's what you want your canvas size to be. So let's open up a new guy right there. Let's keep it like this. And we are going to turn on the drawing guide and edit the drawing guide. So the grid size is going to be in inches. It's going to be 0.25 because that is the size of the little squares in the corner that we need to make. So to make that easily, just choose the selection tool, make sure that it's the rectangle, start from off of the canvas, and then drag to these little grid lines as close as you can. Take whatever color you have and fill it in. So that is good to go. That is all you need for the hack, is just those little corners. So we are going to alpha lock this and then actually lock it too, just to make sure that we don't mess with it or anything. Okay, so next we are going to create the actual sticker sheets, like the background of the sticker sheet, so that we can know what size to make our stickers and everything. So I like to use 5x7 sticker sheets, so I'm gonna do the same thing, take the rectangle. When it's still on the 0.25 inch squares, you have to go 3 in and 2 in on all corners to get 2 sheets. This is just a guesstimate. It's not going to be perfect, but it doesn't necessarily have to be because I don't use the Cricut to cut out the background. I just use the background as a guide, really. So for me, that doesn't really matter. It just has to be close enough to 5 by 7 for me to know what size stickers I'm going to be putting on them. And I also kind of want to make 2 sheets. So let's boop, boop, boop. What was I doing? Oh yeah. Re-grabbing this. So that size is good, and then it needs to be 5 inches across, which is actually 20 little boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And fill. Good. That's a nicer square, so I'm actually going to duplicate that, change its color slightly, and while it's on magnetic, it's nice that you can just kind of drag it right across, put them up next to each other, you can get rid of this big one, and there we go. So I like to put a little banner across the top where I can put a title. So for that, I just do like 1/2 inch for the banner at the top. So now we can actually start importing our little stickers in. So, whoops, those are all the finished stickers. Let's go back to just the little one that we just resized earlier. So as you can see, let's drag him up here. He is pretty much 1 inch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So we did a good job cropping and everything. What I'm going to show you guys next is how to make the white background behind your stickers. So what your iPad is going to recognize. What your Cricut machine is going to recognize and know what to cut. So to do that, we are going to take this little image, duplicate him. I'll alpha lock the top one. Alpha lock him, take just like a hard airbrush, make sure it's full size, then go to values, or you can go to classic, either one. Make sure that you grab a bright white. You can make sure because it's going to be 255 on all of these. So that is white, and there we go. So then drag that under your image, un-alpha lock it, and now comes the fun part. So we are going to go up to this little button, Gaussian blur him, and then at the top, when you slide it, tells you the percentages. I like to go around 15-ish, right? And then now you're just gonna duplicate this a bunch of times. I like to kind of duplicate it until it fills up a row, and then the fun trick is you can use your fingers to grab the first and last layer and pinch them all together so that they all squish down. And then I like to duplicate it again, just as many times as I did the first time. And squash down. Once you get these like kind of weird wavy lines on the outside, you're pretty much good. So then on that same layer, we are going to take the selection tool, go to automatic, and select outside of that. And mine automatically did it for me, which was nice of it. And if you slide across the screen, it gives a selection threshold. I like to go as high as possible before it goes completely black, so that's like 99.8%. And so that's just selecting everything that in this little black area. that's what it's selecting, because it's giving a threshold that it can select. And so when you do that, you can just take your eraser, make sure that it's like a big ol' eraser, so hard airbrush works really well for that. Make sure it's completely solid and just erase that fuzzy outline. So it looks a little pixelated, but at the size that it is, since it's a 1-inch sticker, it really won't be a problem that it is slightly pixelated, because the Cricut won't recognize that. It'll think it's as smooth of a line as possible. So I like to do this when all of my stickers are on the actual sheet, so that all the sticker outlines are the same size, rather than do them on the files themselves and then export and resize, because then the little white outlines won't all be the same. So that's just a good way to do that. That is pretty much all set up. You can then you can squash these together, you can just group them, it is up to you. And then you can place it wherever you want on your sticker sheet and add another sticker, like keep adding your files. I'm gonna jump over to the file that I have already done just to show you guys what it looks like. So I have my little boxes in the corner, and let's turn off this drawing guide just to make it easier to see. I like to differentiate my backings, so I have a right backing and a left backing. If I turn it off, you can see what happens. So here you can see I did the little outlining on all of them, and all the outlines are the same size because I did it all on this file when they were already resized. So I like to add a little title and just my information at the bottom, and we are good to go with sectioning it off. So for the next part, let's see. Yeah, to be able to save these. So I like to save them vertically, and then you're going to save 2 files. You are going to save a file with everything on it. The corners are on it, the backing sheet and all the stickers are on it. Don't worry that you can't see the little white outlines, obviously, because the background is white. That's no problem. This is going to be the print sheet. So we are going to go to Share, PNG, go to Save Files, go in this tutorial, Earth sticker sheet, Earth Day sticker sheet, and I'm gonna add in print. Save that. All good, okay. Now you're gonna turn off your backings so that you just, have your outlines. It doesn't matter if you have your illustrations on there, Cricut won't be angry about that. It's just gonna create this as a cut file. So this is gonna be your cut file. Sometimes it helps to have your illustrations on there, so when you look back at the file, you know what orientation to put your paper on your Cricut mat. So same thing, Share, PNG, really important. You need to make sure that the background is transparent. Save to files, and just let yourself know this is the cut file. Cut. Save. And we are all good. Voila! So now we can move over to our laptop or whatever you use to like cut on your Cricut. Hi guys, I haven't seen you guys yet today, and you guys haven't seen my face yet today, so hello. So just the next step of the sticker sheets is going to be making this tape outline, tape guideline. So I did show this in that previous video, but I'm actually going to show you like the machine actually cutting it, me actually taping it. So pretty much we're going to be taping, and then the Cricut is going to cut out a 8.5 by 11 square, because I have, that just fell on the ground. I have one more Cricut sheet that doesn't have this little template on it, so I'm gonna make that on this. So I just wanted to show you kind of what we're doing. So let's go to my laptop. For setting up the, what's it called? For setting up the tape guide, we're gonna make a new project. make a new project. There we go. Then you're just going to go into shapes, click square, and then unlock this so you can change the sizing. And you're going to go to 8.5 by 11 or whatever you did your letter size as, whatever your sticker paper is sized. So mine is 8.5 by 11. I'm going to relock this just cause. And I'm going to move it up to the 0, 0 position. And that is literally it. That is the easiest part. So it's just a basic cut, rectangle technically. Gonna press make it. And pretty much here, it's just showing you where you're gonna put your tape. So you're gonna when you put the tape on the mat, you're gonna overlap this line where it's gonna cut on all sides. You're just gonna overlap that line. Make sure you have tape on one side and the other side so that when the Cricut goes and cuts around this rectangle, you pull out the tape that's on the inside of the rectangle that's been cut out. So just continue. Attach it to your Cricut. Last time I did printable sticker paper, worked perfectly fine. Make sure that your fine point blade is in, and you're just gonna load your mat. So let's go tape our mat and then I'll show you loading it because there's a little bit of a funny thing when loading it. Okay, so for taping your mat, I just use some masking tape and I have a little picture of, it's not gonna focus, but there we go. I have a little picture of my computer screen of like where the tape needs to be. So I'm just gonna follow that. I also technically have this if I wanted to reference it either way. And I am just going to tape over where the guide needs to be, so. Staticky. I like to do 2 layers of tape just to make sure that it's got enough thickness so when I put my paper on it, it is easier to line up. So just referencing where it goes. I do cover the numbers, it really doesn't matter. As long as you don't go over the edge. So like, because that can mess with how the Cricut grabs the mat. So if you do go over the edge, like I just did, like a noob, there we go, just rip it off. I'm gonna go around once and then I'm gonna come back and do that second layer. So. And there we go. Not rocket science, just follow your little grid lines and now we can cut it. Okay, so that funny thing when loading your Cricut mat, when you put your Cricut mat in, it has to go underneath these 2 tabs, right? Those 2 tabs on there. And so when you put it in, it can wiggle back and forth a little bit. So I like to just press it up completely to the left and then hold it, you know, kind of like hold it forward. Like press it up against the wheels and press it all the way to the left. So every time I load my mat, I make sure to press it all the way to the left because that's just how I calibrated it as well. So that's what I do. We're gonna press load. And now it is going to cut our little rectangle and be crazy loud about it. And it's as easy as that. So now if you can see those little parts, we're gonna peel off that inside part. Okie doke. So actually, let me grab that little, with this little picker tool, it kind of helps to get the corners out. So just gonna pick out these corners. Try not to scratch up your mat, obviously. And we're just gonna pull off, wow, what the Cricut cut out. All right, just this little corner left. Alrighty, there we go. So that is a 8.5 by 11 rectangle that we got all mapped out. So when we load our sticker paper, which I'll show you, you're just gonna fit it into the rectangle. So next is printing out the actual sticker sheet. So you're gonna find wherever you saved your sticker sheet, the print version. So that has everything on it, the backing sheet, logos, wow. Backing sheet logos and everything. So, yup, we can see the little squares in the corners. Those aren't gonna print out because my printer doesn't do borderless printing, so it can't actually get out to that edge, but that doesn't matter. That is just for the Cricut, but it's important to also have on the printer sheet, on the print file, so that when we actually go to print, in the printer log, let me find my printer. Of course I didn't turn it on ahead of time, so apologies, it's gonna make some noises. But the most important thing that you do is you go to scale and you make sure to scale this 100%. It doesn't matter if your printer does borderless printing or anything, that's not the point. The point is to actually get this to print at 100% so everything is scaled to that 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. That is the most important part. If you get that right, you should be good to go. So it doesn't matter if you do borderless printing, nothing like that. My printer doesn't do borderless printing and it still does fine as long as the scale is set to 100. So at that point, then you are just going to press print. Okay, so now that we have our stickers printed out, let us put the cut file into Cricut. No, replace. Okay, so we are going to go to upload, upload image, browse, and we're gonna find our cut print, our cut sheet, our cut file, sorry, and open that up. Gonna go to complex, continue, duh. Everything should be fine here. There shouldn't be anything that you need to erase. If you have any stray marks, you should have taken care of that in Procreate, so we should be all good here. Just press continue. And then we're just gonna do it as a cut image. We don't need any registration marks, so just a cut image. Upload. I already had it done, but here's the one we just inserted. Insert image. So it's gonna insert it super big. Make sure this lock is on up at this top part where it says size, and we're just gonna change it to 8.5, and it should automatically scale to 11. Thankfully with these little boxes, that's what they do for us. And we're just gonna get the position down to 0. 0. Ooh. Come on, 0. There we go. And so it should be all good to cut. Thankfully with these little boxes, it is scaled. It is able to be scaled to 8.5 by 11. So it should match our print version and everything. Everything should be aligned. So all we have to do is go to make it. Yeah, looks good. Continue. So for the base material, I am using the, it is Online Labels 100% recycled white sticker paper. On their website, Online Labels does give print like cut settings for Cricut, and it suggests using iron-on, the everyday iron-on Don't pay attention if you're using the same cut setting. Don't mirror it, because we're not actually ironing on anything. Don't mirror it. That's if you're actually doing an iron-on setting. We just want the iron-on for the pressure setting. On their site, it says to do more, but I tried that earlier and it cut through the backing paper as well as the sticker paper, so it was just a little too much. So I tried default and that was perfectly fine, because these are just kiss cut. You want the sticker sheet, the backing sheet, to stay intact while the top layer, the stickers, get cut through. So I found that everyday iron-on default works well for Online Label's 100% recycled white sticker paper, as well as their, what is it called? Weatherproof matte inkjet. This setting also works well for that. So all we have to do now is load our Cricut mat and we will be good to go. So I have my Cricut sheet loaded. Make sure that it's the same orientation, so the little title bar is on the right for me. Make sure that it's the same orientation as your cut file and you should be good. Because there are those little squares in the corners, I do like to put a little piece of tape, because that's where the Cricut's going to cut through, and sometimes it has a knack for pulling up the corner because it is cutting right on the edge, so sometimes the corner gets pulled up. It's less of a problem on kiss cut stickers than on die cut stickers. If you're cutting straight through the paper, I really recommend putting like a little piece of masking tape on the corners where it's going to cut those little squares out, because sometimes it just pulls the paper up and it will ruin your entire sheet. So there's a little trick for you. So just like before, I'm gonna load it pushed all the way to the left, load, and cut. And there we are. So it might be a little difficult to see, but they are cut out. Cute. And here, let me show you. So it did it on the tape. It like pulled it up. That's exactly what happens to your paper if you don't put a little piece of masking tape, and it'll sometimes get caught underneath the knife and just keep getting pulled. So that's just a little precaution to take, but now we get to chop them up. Okay, so let's unload these. You can reuse these. They're still perfectly fine. Just like replace them. So when I have to cut out a bunch of them, that's what I typically do. I just stick them to the edge of my table and reuse them. So that's where those little guys are going. And to pull these off, you want to try to like curl your paper as little as possible. So a subscriber actually suggested to me, and what I've been doing is flipping my sheet upside down, and here, let me show you. Peeling the mat away from the sheet rather than vice versa, and it keeps your paper from curling. There we go. Ta-da! There you have it. Sticker sheets. You can totally round the corners if you like. I like to do that. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. Alrighty, so I know this wasn't like my normal studio vlogs, it was more tutorial-esque, but I hope it helped. If any of you were looking to make sticker sheets or anything, or even just make stickers, you can use the little like white outline hack to make like die cut stickers. So as you saw before, here's how the little sticker sheet turned out. You might be able to see that they're like cut, but it doesn't go through the back or anything, which is really nice. So those are these little stickers. And then I also made, using the same Cricut hack with the little squares at the corners, and the same white outline hack, I made 2 little die cuts that match the prints. So these 2 are gonna come in a set on my Etsy store, so I'm gonna get these up as well as the sticker sheets up. And that's about it. It is probably gonna be a pretty long video considering all of the clips for the like tutorial part kind of thing. But I do hope that it's helpful for someone that is trying to make stickers or a sticker sheet or anything. So ask me any comments below if you do need help with anything. I am always happy to help. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.